First, from any place he wants to be from, Steve the Brawler Lawler and his tag team partner from Miami, Florida, Dino Manelli. And they wrestle at a combined weight of 465 pounds. And now, introducing the challengers. Weighing in at a combined weight of 448 pounds. First of all, Jimmy Powell from Walker County, Georgia. And his partner from parts unknown in Georgia, the Nightmare. This match is for the Tag Team Championship, and the belts are on the line.
At the West Georgia Fairgrounds, collar and elbow tie between Dino Manelli and the Nightmare. And once again, joining us at the microphone is the manager of Mr. Atlanta, Robert Anderson. And it's, of course, I don't think we asked you out here for this particular match, but I can't blame you for wanting to be out here.
I had to come out here and sort of say this is probably one of the most exciting matches in the history of Southern Championship Wrestling. I mean, you got the titles versus the hair and the mask of Georgia Power. I'm just curious what it's going to look like to see a bald-headed Jimmy Powell and what that Nightmare looks like underneath. I'm looking at Steve the Brawler Lawler, who's been on a workout diet, and he's probably looking better than any time I've ever seen him in my life.
Well, I do know this, that Sir Samuel F. Kent has been very greedy with title shots for Georgia Power, and Georgia Power, I guess you can say, behind the 8 ball, having to put the hair and the mask on the line just to get the title shot. But it's going to come down today right here on this hour of Southern Championship Wrestling.
Well, I was talking to Sir Samuel F. Kent, which is a personal friend of mine. I've been out to the Double S Ranch, and maybe one day when you get to be a personal friend, you'll get to come out there and take a ride on the yacht.
Well, highly unlikely. Randy, I see that the Nightmare staying in on the arm of the bigger man, Dino Manelli, but you have to watch him because he's a crafty veteran and he's one half of the title holders.
You're absolutely right. The Nightmare is playing it smart. He's getting Manelli on the mat. Pound for pound, the Nightmare is at a disadvantage, but the Nightmare is quicker, and he's going to have to work on Manelli, get him on the mat, and to rely on his speed will the Nightmare. Big stomp to that arm, yeah.
Quick tag is made, and in comes the Nightmare. Robert Anderson, I know you've had your run-ins from time to time with this Nightmare, a very unorthodox wrestler.
Well, pound for pound, the Nightmare is probably one of the toughest guys in the business, but he's not tough enough to walk down the aisle with Mr. Atlanta.
Well, the Dirty White Boy is unorthodox. That is an understatement. He'll come at you from any different direction he chooses, and you never know which way he's coming. Great arm takedown. Big old arm drag.
I believe the Dirty White Boy is an escapee from Milledgeville. I believe he needs to be in a padded room down there. Look at that psychedelic color shirt, and the man can't even decide what color boots to wear. But I'll give credit. He might be nuts, but he knows what he's doing in there.
No doubt about it. The Nightmare can wrestle. As you see right there, the Nightmare catching Steve the Brawler Lawler with a high hip toss and an arm drag. And now right in on that left arm of Steve the Brawler Lawler. But the Lawler pulls the hair of the Dirty White Boy, backs him into the corner.
Jimmy Powell is in enemy territory now. He is where he does not need to be or want to be. Dino Manelli unloading with those big right hands. Powell fighting back the Dirty White Boy. Coming out of the corner with steam. Tags up the Nightmare. And the Nightmare. Georgia Power starting to work now, starting to turn on the juice.
Well, the one thing I can say about Georgia Power, you got to count of 5 to get out. And they're carrying their count to 5 to get one man in and out.
Well, they're doing that because they've got a lot at stake. The mask of the Nightmare, the hair of Jimmy Powell on the line versus the titles here on this hour of Southern Championship Wrestling. And Sir Samuel F. Kent, with his briefcase in hand, I can see out a camera shot.
The hair of Jimmy Powell will grow back, but the Nightmare's got a career at stake with that mask. That's really something to put that mask up on the line. Hair will grow back, but you can't grow that mask back. That is a whole career out there.
I'm sure you would agree with that, Mr. Anderson. Yeah. Mr. Atlanta takes a great deal of pride in his mask. He's wrestled several masked men and come out victorious on several occasions defending his mask.
You know, one of the best matches I've ever seen Mr. Atlanta have was when him and David Sammartino locked up. Mr. Atlanta went toe-to-toe with Tag and the Stallion. They don't come no vicious in that match, especially when they had the two boys in the cage. But back to this match right here now. You know, people say that Elvis is dead, nothing to worry about because the Latin attraction's still here for the ladies.
Indeed, Mr. Anderson, the Nightmare right there on the Latin attraction as he goes in between the ropes. The referee backs the Nightmare off. Dino Manelli goes over to talk with Steve the Brawler Lawler.
You know, that's a pretty smart move. I'm sure Sammy Ken had something to do with it, you know, coming back over there and sort of slow down the pace, but the Nightmare's not going to let him do it. He's going in after him, and that's a pretty smart move by the Nightmare. I do hate to give him credit, but I do believe in giving credit where credit's due.
Well, the Nightmare and Jimmy Powell are pressing the attack. They are the challengers. They have to press the attack. That is really pressing the attack.
Look at he's grabbing a handful of hair. Now, I say now, why don't that referee go ahead and disqualify George Powell? He's biting him again. Why don't we go ahead and disqualify him so we can see a bald-headed Jimmy Powell and a bald-headed unmasked Nightmare?
Well, I frankly believe that the Nightmare and Jimmy Powell are going to do everything within their powers and pull out all the stops because the belts are on the line versus the hair and the mask. And, I mean, what more can you lose? Going up for the titles, a lot of other tag teams interested in title shots, and this is really everything's on the line. All the cards are on the table.
You know, there's some tough tag teams in the area. You know, I hate to give Sammartino and Chick Donovan credit, but I watched them a little bit ago, and they're undoubtedly probably one of the toughest tag teams I've seen next to these group guys here. Also, you got Johnny and Davey Rich, I think, is coming in the area, and Armstrong. So, you know, they're pretty tough.
Tag is made. In comes the Nightmare. Fans up in Jasper. I'd like to say a big hello to our fans up in Jasper, Georgia. We'll be up there on the 3rd in Jasper at the high school gym.
You know, Tim, this is tag team wrestling, and Mr. Anderson, I think you'll agree with me. The tag team that's working the best right now as far as tags in and out is Georgia Power. They are switching out. They're double teaming every chance they get. And I would say if you were just looking at it on pure ability and pure tag team work right now, they're ahead. A big monkey flip coming out of the corner, and Manelli hits hard. That'll send you to the chiropractor in a hurry. Small package, 2 count, and Gino Manelli, a great arm drag takedown.
You know, it looked like the Nightmare had a little handful of trunks right there when he flipped him over. What about that, Tim?
I didn't see any trunk pulls. The Nightmare is just so quick, it's just like a blur when he's in the ring. And they are really pressing the attack. Randy, I have to agree with you. They've made the most tags. They're staying right there on the opponents. They're working on that arm on Dino Manelli. Steve the Brawler Lawler has been outside the ring a great deal of this match. But as I look across the ring, I still see a very confident Sir Samuel F. Kent, who's got the titles on the line versus the hair and the mask of the Nightmare and Jimmy Powell.
Yeah, he's got a sneer on his face as usual over there, but behind those dark glasses, you don't know what's in his eyes. He may be a little worried. Now he's got an exasperated look on his face as Powell tags back in and a big arm twist, and he is really working that left arm of Gino Manelli over.
You know, sort of things look bad for the dynasty over there, but don't never count out Sir Samuel F. Kent. I'm sure the man's got a plan.
No doubt in the world he's got a plan. But right now, Gino Manelli's got problems. Steve Lawler with a knee to the small of the back of Jimmy Powell from outside the ring.
Fans, right now, we're going to have to take a commercial break. If there's a decision while we're in a commercial break, we'll bring it back to you on instant replay. Fans, we've got to take a break right now. Tide turned several times, Randy and Robert. We've seen Steve the Brawler Lawler come in and throw a great deal of emphasis into this match by taking a great toll on the Dirty White Boy Jimmy Powell. And now it's Dino Manelli in the ring with a Nightmare and Steve the Brawler Lawler making the tag. And as I've said time and time again, at this point in a championship match, this is where Steve the Brawler Lawler and Dino Manelli are at their most dangerous.
Well, Steve Lawler is living up to his name, the Brawler, right now. You know, he's from a wrestling family. He's very well versed in the basics of wrestling, but he prefers this brawling style. He came in, threw some clotheslines out, knocked some people flat on their backs, and they have really taken control of this match, have the champions right now. The Nightmare trying to fight up, and he's going to pick up Steve the Brawler Lawler if he can come out of that squat position, and he does.
Ooh! Wow, the Nightmare dumping Steve the Brawler Lawler. And the Nightmare needs to make a tag.
He does.
He's back to one knee, but he's going back in on the Brawler. Backs his man into the ring ropes. Good reversal by Steve the Brawler Lawler. Catches his man. High backdrop. High backdrop by Steve the Brawler Lawler in the back of the Nightmare. Reddening. And the tag is made, and in comes Dino Manelli.
You know, right here's where you're going to see what a tag team is made of. I want you to watch the way Dino and Steve keep swapping in and out. You know, they're experts at this right here. I mean, I'm not taking that away from Georgia Powrer, but the gentlemen are experts. Bad mistake by Dino.
And nobody was home.
There's your tag, and here's Mr. Unorthodox, Jimmy Powell, the Dirty White Boy.
Nice drop kick by the Dirty White Boy, Jimmy Powell. But Dino Manelli, now with some headbutts. That one appeared to be just a little bit low.
I don't know. It looked pretty honest, you know, clean cut to me.
Tag is made.
Sometimes, man, you see things different.
Tag is made, and in comes Steve the Brawler Lawler. And wow!
Well,
Randy about took his head off.
From the top rope, a clothesline, and he kicked out. I don't believe Jimmy Powell kicked out. I don't know where he came from with that one, but he reached down deep and got it.
And the fans here in the auction barn are loving this effort. Ooh! Wow!
I tell you what, if Jimmy Powell gets up from that, God, he did.
But he kicks out. Steve the Brawler Lawler trying to drive the face of Jimmy Powell right through the mat. And the fans here at the auction barn are loving this action, but they want to see Georgia Powrer come out victors in this match, as I'm sure the people down in Columbus, Georgia, who'll be watching us June the 25th at Quality Ford would like to say a big hello and everybody to come on out to Columbus, Georgia's Quality Ford on June the 25th when Southern Championship Wrestling comes to Columbus. Nice neck breaker by Steve the Brawler Lawler. He's a very effective wrestler.
Right here. I just don't believe it. I don't see how Jimmy Powell keeps getting up because, I mean, they're taking all the heavy artillery out from right now.
Well, he's made of strong stuff as Jimmy Powell. He's got, I guess you can call it guts, for lack of a better term.
Well,
he's reaching deep down.
This is what you'd call a gut check. Jimmy Powell sucking it up every time. There's Dino Manelli with a very lackadaisical cover, and Jimmy Powell able to kick out, much like I've seen Mr. Atlanta do on occasion.
You know, to me, I don't believe there's a man alive that's going to be able to put Mr. Atlanta down for the 1, 2, 3. You know, he's come close, but I've never seen him pin myself.
Well, Mr. Atlanta isn't here right now, and we've got a championship match going, Mr. Anderson. A neck breaker, Dino Manelli.
Beautifully executed neck breaker by Dino Manelli.
You know, I'm just curious how much more Jimmy Powell can take. I mean, the man has took a beating.
But he's able to kick out once again, and Steve the Brawler Lawler getting all over the referee about his count. But in the meantime, Dino Manelli firing away at Jimmy Powell, and Jimmy Powell's career, at least his hair, definitely on the line here.
Oh, Steve Lawler just literally dropped the big leg across the back of his head on that rope. There he's got him again on that rope. That snaps your neck back. That'll send you to a chiropractor.
And Mr. Anderson, I'm inclined to agree with you now. How much can he take?
There's one thing about it. Jimmy Powell's taking a beating, but he's in Lawler Manelli's ballpark right here. This is where they're at their best, showing why they're probably one of the #1 tag teams in the United States today.
Big back breaker and slam, but he's able to put the leg over the ring ropes for a second time.
Just by instinct, Jimmy Powell knows where he is in that ring. He knows where those ropes are, and he's using them. He's doing it to survive. It's pure survival in there right now for Jimmy Powell.
Jimmy Powell operating on instinct alone. Good snap mare by Dino Manelli and a rear chin lock. And the fans here at the Alpharetta Auction Barn cheering on the Dirty White Boy, Jimmy Powell, as they trying to climb the mountain and attain the Southern Tag Team titles.
He's getting up. He's getting up.
He's back to his feet once again.
You need to bring him back down, baby.
Big elbows to the midsection, and he brought him down.
courtesy of a handful of hair, I thought, Randy.
Like solid muscle to me. I believe it just flat overpowered him, man. Because, you know, Jimmy Powell is sort of weak right now, so I believe it's just overpowered him, muscled him, and pulled him bone back down. That's what it looked like to me.
In either case, he's down on the mat right now. So Dino
Dino
Manelli
Manelli
on top. Got him in it looks like a chin lock from here, front face lock rather. It's a rear chin lock now.
But once again, Jimmy Powell has gotten to one knee, and he is just seemingly unstoppable when he wants to get to his feet. He's back to his feet. Big right hand to the midsection by Jimmy Powell. Another big right hand to the midsection by Jimmy Powell, but there it was plain as day, Mr. Robert Anderson. A handful of hair.
I heard somebody calling me over here. I didn't see it. I was looking the other way there.
Indeed.
Little help from Steve Lawler outside the ring over there is pulling the leg of Manelli, getting more pressure on the neck and the chin of Jimmy Powell. And Sam Kent is smiling over there now like a sly old fox.
You know, I don't know if you noticed, but if you get a good close-up look at Jimmy Powell's face, they've had so much pressure on his neck. It's cut out the air, and his face is turning dark red.
That kind of hold, as you know, Mr. Anderson, and you too, Tim, it's not nearly a submission hold, but you can't think in it. Your breath is cut off, and it's just plain irritating to have that kind of hold on you.
Now, what's the Nightmare doing in there? Look at there. He can't stand it because his man's getting beat up. Now, look at the Nightmare.
Well, there was no tag made there. I saw it. Robert Anderson, you had to see it. Randy, I know you saw it.
There was no tag. You're absolutely right. Steve Lawler, with a little shenanigan there, slapped his hands together. The referee's back was turned with the Nightmare, Steve Lawler, in the ring.
This is the kind of action we saw down in Griffin just a few short weeks ago. And on July 9th, Southern Championship Wrestling will be returning to Spalding Ford in Griffin on the North Expressway. Listen for more on that in the upcoming weeks. And right now, Jimmy Powell, who has taken an extraordinary beating, I should say, here in this match.
Now the Nightmare's in the ring.
A nightmare after Steve the Brawler Lawler. Steve
He's
the
gonna
Brawler
slam him
Lawler
on
with
the
a full body
concrete.
slam on the concrete.
I
On
don't
the dirty
believe
white
that.
boy, Jimmy Powell.
I want you to know the Nightmare is what caused that. If it stayed where he belonged, kept his nose out of it, Jimmy Powell would have been disqualified, or, you know, he would have got back there and done been pinned by now.
That concrete doesn't give, folks. That's not much give in that ring, but I guarantee you that concrete doesn't give. And he hit hard to Jimmy Powell.
Well, Jimmy Powell paying the ultimate price right now, and the Nightmare chewing at the bit to get in and get it on with any member of Kent's dynasty, that's for sure. But Jimmy Powell has got to hold on. He's got to make a tag. He's taking a terrible beating. Another nice snapmare and a rear chin lock by Dino Manelli.
Robert Anderson, I'm going to agree with you. I don't see how he got up from that slam. That hurt me.
Well, they've always said that Jimmy Powell, the dirty white boy, is nuts, and Dally must not have no feeling in his body neither.
The fans picking up the chant, "Go Jimmy, go." And Jimmy Powell, his eyes rolling back in his head. Once again caught in a prone rear chin lock by Dino Manelli.
That one looked like it slipped under the chin for a time being. I think Manelli's got it back up where it should be now, but it looked for a few seconds like it was an absolute chokehold.
You know, I'm looking at the monitor right now. According to the monitor, the referee is right where he needs to be. If Jimmy Powell gives up, he can go ahead and ring it right there and then.
Well, the referee's doing an excellent job keeping this match under control because these four men in here absolutely do not like each other. And to keep two men in the ring at one time and keep the other two out, as well as Sir Samuel S. Kent, is a major accomplishment for
Well, the
official.
Nightmare can't stand it anymore, but he's pushed out of the ring by the referee. And now it's Dino Manelli sending Jimmy Powell in for the ride, but caught by Jimmy Powell. Jimmy Powell up and over his man. He's caught.
Neckbreaker.
Nice neckbreaker.
Where did that come from?
Here comes the Nightmare.
He's coming in with a vengeance is the Nightmare. Steve Lawler in, Manelli in. The Nightmare working one, then the other, throwing big right hands. Now both heads cracked together. The Nightmare literally cleaning house in there. Standing drop kick. My gracious. The Nightmare coming in full of fire. Uh-oh.
And Steve the Brawler Lawler
There
has
went the
nailed the
referee
referee.
down.
Steve the Brawler Lawler has, and you would like that, Mr. Anderson.
Look
I'm
out,
sure.
here's Sam Kent.
And Sammy Kent, Sir Samuel F. Kent, blocked by the Nightmare. And the Nightmare now catching Sir Samuel F. Kent.
Look at that. Look at that. What is
Jimmy Powell.
What is Jimmy Powell doing? Look at
Jimmy Powell with a cover.
Referee is
Hooks a far leg.
We've got
That's
new
a count of
champions.
three. And
We've
we
got
have
new
new
champions.
tag team champions.
The dirty white boy and the Nightmare. We have got new champions, Tim.